Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is May the 9th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Friday to ya. Hopefully, the vibes are catching you well. Hopefully, you're in a good place. You're in a good spot. You're feeling good. If you're not listening to this on a Friday, that's a-okay. Hopefully, it still feels Friday for you. But yeah, today is nice. I took a day for myself. This was already planned, but it just kind of lined up with the week. So I was happy to take it. Essentially, today we woke up a little bit early, but that was fine. We got our laundry in. Laundry went well. After laundry, we went to the gym. Gym went real good. I would say real good. We'll slap a real on there. Overall, it was a heavier lifting day. I lifted heavy weight that I have not ever lifted before. I won't call it a PR yet because I feel like my form is way too lousy for that. But I just kind of wanted to like physically explore, in a way, I guess you could say. I don't know. But overall today just felt good, at least in the gym. So, we had a good laundry session, good gym session. So yeah, no complaints. We're good. Let's go ahead and do our startup and get into some news. How's that sound? I don't have too much to report on the personal news, but I mean, sometimes no news is good news, right? All right. Our first story comes from CNN. Trump announces trade deal with UK as tariffs continue to spark economic uncertainty. President Donald Trump announced a trade agreement with the United Kingdom on Thursday, noting that it will be the first of many, while British Prime Minister Keir Starmer joined via phone for the announcement. Trump later said other leaders would appear in the Oval Office to sign their truce deals. Few details were immediately announced on what the terms of the agreement would include. A White House fact sheet stated a 10% tariff on UK imports will remain in place, but cars from there will be taxed at a reduced rate. And I want to get to a highlighted portion on that in a bit. For weeks, Trump officials have said they are talking to more than a dozen countries and are nearing a deal. But even the striking of this agreement with the UK was not enough to boost markets, which rallied on the news before enthusiasm faded. So, this is a part of like this whole idea that Trump's gonna get all these deals done before the tariff like fully hits that he pushed back. I mean, we'll see. For the UK, they're trying to tout this as a win. For the US, they're trying to tout it as a win. I think overall, people are kind of cool on this. Like, it's not enough. And not to mention, it doesn't offset what this 10% is already doing. Like, essentially, when you compare how things were before fucking Liberation Day to now, it's only worse. It doesn't matter if you're UK signing this deal. Also, nothing's in like writing yet. We're reading off of a fact sheet and saying, okay, so this is how it's gonna be, right? Question mark. So we'll see. But I wanted to read this highlighted portion because it goes to specifically the automotive part. According to a fact sheet shared by the White House, the Trump administration has agreed to lower tariffs on the first 100,000 UK vehicles imported to the United States each year to 10%. Additional vehicles will face a 25% tariff. So that's already something that American automakers are like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't helping us then. Like, that's counterintuitive. Sorry. And I'm pretty sure unions are maybe most mad about it because it's like, well, how are we supposed to be building and enriching ourselves? Like, what's the whole point of this? It just seems so backwards. But, of course, Trump's like, no, this is fine, baby. This is the art of the deal. This is what we wanted. And it's like, oh, okay. And more deals to come. So, I mean, we'll see if the Trump administration can even get a semblance of like, hey, we really wrangled this in. America's going to be so much better for this, and yay, awesome. Or if it's just going to be more of these lukewarm deals that everyone goes, okay, no, you fucked everyone really hard, and now you're just kind of scaling back how bad we're fucked. But we're still fucked under this administration. This whole tariff bullshit has been nothing but trouble. But we're a little less worse for wear. We'll see. So I wanted to start off with that. Getting into an assault allegation that I found. Well, I heard from. Actually, no, I did. I heard from this from the BBC, and this is also from the BBC, which we're reading. Smokey Robinson accused of sexual assault by 4 women. 4 anonymous housekeepers are suing Motown legend Smokey Robinson for $50 million or 37 million pounds, accusing him of sexual assault. A complaint filed in Los Angeles Superior Court accuses the 85-year-old of sexual battery, false imprisonment, negligence, and gender violence, in addition to a number of labor violations related to wages, breaks, meal times, and overtime pay. The lawsuit also names Robinson's wife, Frances Robinson, claiming she contributed to a hostile work environment and used ethnically pejorative words and language. Representatives for the Robinsons did not immediately respond to requests for comment, and the accusations could not be independently verified. Going into a bit of Smokey Robinson's background, how he became popular, because I feel like most people probably don't know unless you're in the black community, I feel like, or you're an old head who's into Motown. You have to be a certain kind of person at this point in 2025 to really be like, oh yeah, I totally know who Smokey Robinson is. At this point, the only time I bring up Smokey Robinson is when I'm with my friends, or at least certain friends who might know, and I bring up the fact that he tried to bring this fucking comeback album out. It's bro, you're so old, don't do this. And it's about orgasms, and it was called either the album was called Gasm, or he at least had a song called Gasm. And I'm not going to get into the details of said song, but that word is used in America. That makes me uncomfortable. So yeah, there was that. But let's talk about some of his accolades, and we'll get into what he did, or at least is alleged to have done. I should say that, alleged. Just for my own legal sake there. But anyway, I need, you never know. I'm a podcaster. Robinson was Motown's first hit maker, writing #1 hits like Mary Wells' My Guy and The Temptations' My Girl. Born William Robinson Jr. in Michigan, he was both a talent scout for the record label and one of its most prominent recording artists, known for songs like Tracks of My Tears, Shop Around, and Tears of a Clown. I would say Tracks of My Tears is probably the most known. That's one at least I know. He has spots in both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Halls of Fame, and claims to have credits on more than 4,000 songs. All right. Let's see here. We'll scan ahead. We're now talking about the victims. They're Hispanic women who were employed by the Robinsons, earning below minimum wage. And I believe this is John Harris, which is a lawyer for the accused. As low-wage women in vulnerable positions, they lack the resources and options necessary to protect themselves from sexual assaults. The women are suing under the pseudonyms Jane Doe 1, 2, 3, and 4 due to the sexual misconduct allegations, including rape, being leveled against the musician. 3 are former housekeepers, and 1 was the singer's personal assistant, cook, and hairdresser, according to the court documents. In the lawsuit, all 4 women claim that Robinson would summon them to various areas of his properties in Chatsworth, Bell Canyon, and Las Vegas at times when his wife was away. Sometimes emerging naked from the shower, he forced them to have various types of sex over a number of years, starting in 2006, the lawsuit alleges. Jane Doe's 1, 3, and 4 all allege Robinson sexually assaulted them in the blue bedroom of his Chatsworth residence, claiming he would lay down a towel to protect the bed sheets prior to the assaults. Jane Doe number 2's allegations state that Robinson raped her in the laundry room and garage of his Chatsworth residence, where closed-circuit cameras were unable to see. The women claim that during the alleged assaults, Robinson used physical barriers and threats of force to prevent them from fleeing. The lawsuit also includes several allegations of workplace violations. All four women say they worked 10 hours a day for 6 days a week without being paid minimum wage or overtime. They also claim to have worked holidays without receiving a holiday rate. According to the lawsuit, the employees all quit because of the alleged sexual misconduct and hostile work environment. The BBC has contacted Robinson's representatives for response to the lawsuit. There have not been any police reports or criminal charges as of yet, but this was just a big allegation, and I know I hadn't heard too much coverage about it, but I completely understand in the situation, being that, once again, it's Smokey Robinson, and, he's kind of an old head. I feel like, once again, it's just not really big headlines to make. But that, yet again, I did hear this on, BBC, the podcast, and, it's clearly out there. So I was like, hey, let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's not shy away from it. So yeah, we got that story in. Let's go ahead and move on, though, to the next beat. I got a bit of a grift. Actually, this is a familiar grift. We covered something very similar. I was getting deja vu vibes, only this was like American and not Indian. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. I got this from Local 12. A former Ford employee was accused of selling car parts that were stolen straight off the assembly lines. The Dearborn Police Department has made 4 arrests in connection to an alleged theft operation involving multiple manufacturing facilities operated by the Ford Motor Company. The outlet reported that a former Ford employee allegedly took millions of dollars in new car parts. I think it should just be millions. Once again, I think this is one of those times where it's like AI just, did it and the person didn't, get it. But hey, that's my suspicion. With the alleged theft operation involving plants in Wayne, Dearborn, and Flat Rock. The alleged theft ring operated for more than 2 years, WJBK reported. When speaking to reporters, Police Chief Issa Cheyenne said the employee would take parts from the assembly plant, then deliver them to a third-party auto shop to be later sold on eBay. Some parts were also stored and sold out of a facility in Dearborn, Michigan, police told the station. The parts taken reportedly include taillights, hoods, and bumpers, the outlet reported. When we executed a search warrant at one of the shops in Detroit, from the floor to the ceiling, it was stacked with brand new auto parts, Chief Cheyenne told the station. Search warrants were executed at a home in Canton Township, another home in Dearborn, Michigan, and 2 Detroit area businesses. The identities of the individuals involved are being withheld pending charges. So the suspects could also face charges of grand theft auto, racketeering, and operating a criminal enterprise, according to WJBK. So yeah, this story just reminded me, I want to say about a month or so ago, we covered a story in India where a guy, or at least like a group at this auto, this car manufacturer, which is taking pieces and pieces and pieces and just selling those pieces. And essentially that's how they were amassing money. I can't remember how much they made on that, but it's like, personally, that's a good haul to make when you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, like, as long as you can just keep getting away with it, right? But essentially here, the culprit was not able, and it looks like they got to the bottom of it. So yeah, we love an American grift, though, obviously, don't support this stuff. Don't go ahead and start stealing from your local, car place or whatever. It's no good. I will say, though, the next story is also a theft, though this is a bit of more of an oddity story. Let me see here. And I normally don't like using this outlet. It is the New York Post. But, this was the best one to use for this story. So I figured, hey, let's just go ahead and run it. Sorry. A bit of tech issues. Desperate Kansas man arrested for stealing 800-pound cannon from Spanish-American War to settle drug debt. Gordon Pierce, 38, was arrested Thursday after the 1794 cannon went missing from its podium in Wichita Park and was later discovered chopped into pieces. Pierce told investigators that he was a meth user of 20 years and owed his dealer $20,000 after the pound of meth he was supposed to sell was reportedly stolen. He said his dealer threatened to shoot him and his family if he didn't come up with the cash, according to an affidavit acquired by KSNW. Pierce allegedly hatched the crackpot plan to steal the cannon after driving around in desperation looking for copper statues when he came across Riverside Park, where the massive artifact had been a fixture since the 1900s, or since 1900, I should say. He told investigators that the reason he targeted the cannon was because it was in a dark place, according to the affidavit. Pierce then recruited a homeless man to help him with his plan by bribing him with drugs and a pipe. The two men got high on meth before trying to use their own muscles to lift the 800-pound cannon, the document alleges. I could not imagine just the grunting and heaving of two men, high as hell, just trying to lift this cannon. No, you just can't. It's not gonna work. That's not. I know you're, but you're not that. You just can't do it. Sorry. So, plan B. First, the pair tried to lift the cannon into the bed of Pierce's Chevrolet Tahoe, but it was too heavy. Next, they hooked up to a chain. They hooked it up to a chain attached to the truck's hitch so the criminal mastermind could tow it off. Which to me, I'm like, bro, I get that you initially came here because this is in a dark place, but now you're attaching it to your truck and you're going to drag it? How are we going to do this in incognito mode? I don't understand. Except when he began dragging it through the streets, the chain snapped in front of an automotive shop, according to the affidavit. He abandoned the cannon there and fled to a friend's house and acquired a new chain. Pierce used the new chain to drag it to his friend's house, where he hid it in his garage, according to the affidavit. Inside the garage, Pierce allegedly chopped the cannon into 5 hunks and took some of the parts to the drug dealer in hopes it would settle his debt and save his and his family's lives. But the drug dealer was irate, according to records, and called Pierce stupid and told him he was going to bring heat to his house before yelling at him to get out. Since he didn't have an ID that is required to sell scrap metal, Pierce had no real plan for pawning the 800-pound historical artifact, according to records. The next time he saw him, the furious drug dealer allegedly told Pierce he was going to shoot him in the head. Terrified, Pierce went to his mother, confessed, and fell asleep. When he woke up, cops were there to arrest him. This swift investigation shows our dedication to holding individuals responsible when they victimize our community, police said in a statement. Yeah, you got justice delivered. Too bad, what? Are we going to restore the cannon? Are we going to fix it? Because it's in pieces. Officials from Wichita Parks and Recreation estimated the cannon is worth more than $100,000 and that Pierce caused $10,000 worth of damage to the granite pedestal during his harebrained caper. Pierce is being held on $200,000 bail, or bond, I'm sorry. So yeah, this was a bit of an odd story, not one that we cover, but I was like, you know what, let's just lighten it a little bit with a heavy ass fucking cannon. How about that? And just the will to survive and pay off your drug debt. You know what I mean? What you should not get into. Don't do that. It's a bad life. It's a bad life. Anyway, we have one more story, and technically it is also drug related, and it's also animal related. I'm gonna leave the hints at that while we queue up for our last break. From CBS News. That's where it's from. Ooh-wee. Oh, they hit the spot. Okay. Pet raccoon with meth pipe in its mouth found in driver's seat during Ohio traffic stop, police say. An officer in central Ohio encountered a pet raccoon while conducting a traffic stop earlier this week. The animal, named Chewy, had a glass methamphetamine pipe in its mouth and was sitting in the driver's seat of a car that the officer had pulled over, police said. The discovery led Springfield Township Police Officer Austin Branham, who conducted the traffic stop to search the vehicle more thoroughly. He and other officers found methamphetamine, crack cocaine, and 3 used methamphetamine pipes elsewhere in the car, according to the Springfield Township Police Department. Excuse me. The vehicle was pulled over because its registered owner had an active warrant and a suspended driver's license, the department said. Law enforcement arrested and charged the owner of the car, 55-year-old Victoria Vidal, with drug possession and 3 counts of drug paraphernalia, and cited her for driving under suspicion, the police department said. Vidal may face more charges for crack cocaine possession, depending on the outcome of lab results still to come from the State Bureau of Criminal Investigation. The raccoon was not harmed, police said, adding that notification was made to the proper authorities to determine that she has the proper paperwork and documentation to own a raccoon. In Ohio, people are allowed to have pet raccoons, but the process to keep them domestically is highly regulated and certain permits are required. I wonder if the drugs are going to be a potential hindrance there. I don't know. Even as a local, I don't own any pet raccoons. I don't own any animals. So yeah, no possums over here. Springfield police released body camera video of the traffic stop, which shows Chewy emerging from the car. While our officers are trained to expect the unexpected, finding a raccoon holding a meth pipe is a first. Oh, wow. Yeah. I will say, I don't know. It's a weird feeling because you almost want to say it's kind of cute. Like, to see the little raccoon, like, he's kind of holding it like he wants to, like, take a hit. I mean, maybe he's just trying to sniff it out, see what this is all about, whatever. And he's kind of holding on to it. And then, like, the officer kind of goes for it. He drops it. He moves along. I will say, I mean, it's a lot going on in that car. That's for sure. At least just from what I saw from the little video clip. But yeah, that raccoon was just big chilling. He was just a part of the gang. He's just waiting for his owners to come back. Maybe he had to hit a little crack. I don't know. Who knows? Allegedly, who knows? But whatever. That's gonna be it for today. That's the episode. That's all I really wanted to cover. Let's see. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/IsaiahNews. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, whatever listening platform you're on right now. Whatever one you want to be on. Follow me there. Keep up with the Joneses. Let's see. Leave a like. Leave a comment. A nice comment. It was preferred. Sharing is caring. And, I really just appreciate, though, no matter what, if you just listen, you just hang out. Even if it's just for like a little bit of a minute just to see what's up, just check in. That's always nice. It's always appreciated. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.